With regard to linear TV, there is still a limited supply of inventory. Does that mean that every TV advertiser needs to participate in the upfront? How do you decide which ones are suited to the upfront process?
Yeah, so we've built flexibility into kind of our mantra, right? Clients' business is dynamic, the media business is dynamic. Locking up your budgets in June for a marketer who might be on a calendar fiscal doesn't always make the most sense. They're kind of doing it maybe with one eye open because they haven't seen the full picture of what their marketing objectives are. So we've talked to clients about, do the upfront because it's your best opportunity to get the pricing that you need at that point in time, but do it in a way that you feel comfortable that you're laying a base for what you will need in the future. We spend significantly in the calendar year upfront as well. So that's another point in time that we go through a similar process that gives our clients the ability to make decisions that they feel more comfortable with. So I would say that flexibility and choice allows us to do the things differently that they require in a more dynamic world that they live in.
So one of the issues that has come to the fore over the past few years in the upfront is the rise of the audience targeting and guarantees on the selling side, and NBCU with the $1 billion in inventory. Put that into context for us. Are we going to see more and more of that? Is it for every advertiser?
No, I don't. I think what every advertiser is going through is really identifying what their audience means outside of the broad age gender demos that we buy against, right? So that's a fairly blunt instrument that we use as a currency. Their target that actually is going to move their business is a very different animal. So any way that we can use that information to directly correlate to an outcome with a media owner is a benefit. The issue has been more against the ability to do that and the amount of inventory that we buy and they have. So it's been a really small portion against each one of those media owners that have kind of undertaken this endeavor. And I don't see that changing in the near future, but I do see more and more of them being able to execute in a way that matches up with how we build our plans. So strategic intent of a plan is against this individual consumer, and you're buying against an age gender demo. It's transforming within that process. We want to align those two a little more appropriately, and that's why we have been telling the media owners who are doing these types of audience-based buying that we want to be a part of it. Maybe it's a portion of a client's buy against a particular brand, but not against the entire portfolio of that client or against our agency portfolio.
So taking that a step further, we have the OpenAP consortium, Fox, Turner, Viacom. Gives you more scale to reach audiences in a consistent fashion. Is that a step in the right direction?
Absolutely, because now we're taking what we do is basically our proprietary data against these segments across the entire marketplace. Now we are starting to see them be able to execute against all of their inventory, albeit with a few media owners, sizable media owners, but now we can actually do things there that actually match up with the way that we're actually going into planning and actually showing how our clients, how we did.
Were you surprised to see that those companies get together, and do you expect to see others either join in or form their own similar?
I was surprised, and I don't. It's not that I'm not an optimist. It's just you don't see a lot of media owner collaboration all the time. I think Hulu was a big endeavor, right? When Fox and NBC came together to sell their digital inventory. This is like the Hulu of data, and you seeing these three come in, and I do expect the other ones to do as well. I think there's this wait and see attitude that a lot of media owners take that has been somewhat frustrating for a lot of our clients, but it's definitely a step in the right direction that we're actually looking at executing our inventory in a more valuable way.
So there are a lot of unanswered questions about OpenAP, right?
Yeah.
And what are the things you hope to find out in the coming weeks?
Well, I think the methodology will matter. I know that the third-party management I think is excellent through, I believe it's Accenture. The idea that it will be, as it says, open, so free to advertisers, free to agencies, any other media owner can come in against that. So just like we would do with any sort of change in measurement, we would want our research folks to get a sense of, okay, how are they identifying who this audience is? How does it match up with how we've identified the audience? Is there duplication? Is there ways that it's not matching up? But that collection of the data is probably the most important. And our desire to move from this, respondent level data to more behavioral data is really the path by which we've been trying to instill.
So there's a commonality of interest both on the selling side and the buy side for these types of get-togethers, for lack of a better word, that give you more scale. But on the cross-platform measurement side of things, we're not quite there. And in the prep to this, I asked you where we were on a scale of 1 to 10 cross-platform, and your answer was a patchwork 5.
Yes.
Would you explain that?
So I think we take the different audience measurements that we have. So whether you have, the obviously the Nielsen linear piece, and then you have the desktop version of what we see from FEP, and then you apply that to a VOD count, and then you start asking the mobile tabulation against those, and they're aggregating all these different methodologies into one number that aren't necessarily or might not be representative of exactly who's watching. And I don't think that's the way that we should be buying, and I don't think that's the way that they really want to be selling. But clearly there's a lot of competing agendas that exist when you have a group of owners who are media owners who are funding Nielsen to do the work that they do, right? So, and that's not an indictment, that's just understandable.